So, my next recommendation for something that you should check out, watch, and see is a television program, which, I try to mix it up, but it's rare that that is one of the things. But as I was just running, I just finished running. And yes, as you can see, like my hair is a little bit of a mess. And yeah, I'm trying to record these when they come to me, not to be obsessed with perfection or looking great. So, this is what I look like after a run. Anyway, I was thinking about how I've been out there running and I'm not fast. And I'm never going to be fast and I'm probably never going to win a race, but I try to be faithful and I'm deeply inspired by elite athletes. And I've been watching the Olympics. And part of what I want to suggest to you today, and I'm doing it on a day usually different than I would often, is that I really think you should check out the Paralympics. Now, I want to be honest. I grew up as a major Olympics fan. Like many Black people, we would watch the Summer Olympics. There were tons of Black Summer Olympians, but I remember in 1988, I was about 9 years old, or eight or 9 years old. Anyway, Debbie Thomas was in the Winter Olympics, and she was the first Black person to win a Winter Olympics medal. She won a bronze in the figure skating, and I was just so inspired. I think probably there were tons of little Black girls who, like me, thought, you know what, I'm about to be a figure skater. I would look for like patches of ice in the winter to slide across in my shoes or my boots to get some practice. And I remember being so proud of her. And since then, and really every time the Olympics comes on, I watch it. I root for people. I cry. Most of the time I root for the US, that's true, but I often just root for the underdog, for the person whose story reminds me of why they've persevered. And sometimes they're not the person that wins the medal, but they're the person that has really leaned in. And I want to suggest that the Olympics have closed, but the Paralympics are coming up. And I want to really encourage you to figure out how you can watch the Paralympics. Now, it's true. A few years ago, you probably couldn't have even watched them. I've only really been getting into the Paralympics over these last 5 years. 2024, I was watching them. Now, obviously, I'm watching the Winter Olympics in 2026. I've been really following and learning about more Paralympians. And the truth is that I think they're actually doing a better job in the coverage, naming the fact that no elite athlete gets there by themselves. They have a team of coaches and other team members that help them get there. But sometimes in the standard Olympics, people tend to think that people got there for them, or we celebrate them as heroes unto themselves. And when I watch the Paralympics, first, you see people who are overcoming odds beyond anything that I could imagine. In particular, I think about in 2024, Leanne Smith, who is a local Olympian. She's from Massachusetts, and she's a woman who I actually think she started off in figure skating or gymnastics, and then she has a progressively debilitative disease, and every time that she's come back to the Olympics, she has had less mobility than the last time, and she fights through. And I remember watching her compete, and she's an S3 swimmer, but I don't believe that they didn't have an S3 category that time, and that S3 is about how your level of mobility, and so she had to compete up to the next level, and she won the gold medal. And I can't tell you how powerful it was to watch her swim and for the fight that was in her. And when I watch the Paralympics, I'm sitting there like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with like, how can I believe that these obstacles that I'm up against are things that I can't overcome? And particularly as we've moved out of Black History Month and moving into Women's Her Story Month, I want to suggest that the Paralympics is both an amazing place of resilience and fight and people who refuse to back down. But one other thing I want to raise is that often in the Paralympics, what is invisible in the Olympics is visible in the Paralympics. And that is the deep interdependence between these amazing elite athletes and those folks that come alongside them. I am always like blown away when you see a helper sort of helping someone into the pool, or particularly I remember there was an Italian woman who was a long jumper, and she's blind, and she would run fast, like faster than I'm ever gonna run. But anyway, she would run, and then she had her spotter who was like right there, and they had worked out this rhythm. And just when she crossed a certain place, her guide would speak out to her and tell her to start the jump. And then she would, hop, it's like hop, hop, and then into the pit. And I think that the Paralympics both show the resilience of the human spirit, but also deeply highlight the power of interdependence. The reality is that each of us has gifts to bear, and they can best come to fruition when people are willing to come alongside. So if you've never seen the Paralympics, please take the time to check them out. Root for the amazing athletes, but also see the deeper stories, the stories of camaraderie and support of people who both are pushing and also not afraid to partner with and ask for help. It is something, let's just say, if you're anything like me, you will be tearing up a few times as you hear people's stories, as you watch them push. The Paralympics. Check it out.